Good Thursday evening, everybody. I'm student meteorologist Jay Carstens. It's June 23rd. Shout out to my brother Luke. It's his 16th birthday today. And this is for FSU Weather on another hot and sunny day in Tallahassee. Look at those high temperatures. 96 degrees here in town. 90s across the board, even by the water. 91 degrees in Apalachicola. That trend will be continuing over the next couple of days with rain chances on a minor increase as we go into the weekend here. But for now, the satellite radar is totally quiet. We have some low-level moisture, but a layer of dry air aloft that's been keeping the cloud cover limited to these fair weather cumulus clouds. So again, a nice day around town. Although the sunshine has been a bit of a nuisance for sure with all that heat around here. 72 degrees tonight, mostly clear and quiet night. Winds out of the south-southwest at 5 miles per hour. And again, the heat's sticking around for the next couple of days with rain chances beginning to push their way back into the area starting on Sunday and especially into Monday. Going to get off to Lexi now with a quick look around Tallahassee.
You, Jake. Well, as Jake said before, currently right now in Tallahassee, it is 96 degrees with a humidity of 34%. So it's really dry out there, folks, so please stay hydrated. Current temperatures right now, like I said, 96 degrees in Tallahassee, 89 in Monticello. Most of the temperatures have been sitting in the low 90s or upper 80s. Now, looking at our current dew point, 63 in Tallahassee, 68 in Monticello. Like Jake said before, we do have a wave of low-level moisture in the area that is making its way up, so that's why Apalachicola and Carabel have the highest dew points on the map. Now, looking at heat index, now keep in mind these are what the temperatures feel like. So it feels like 98 in Tallahassee, Thomasville sitting at a toasty 100 degrees. Now, looking at our current winds, we mostly have light to moderate winds in the area, 7 miles per hour in Tallahassee, but down below, 10 miles per hour in Apalachicola, 9 in Carabel. That is because of those southerly winds that have been making their way up, which is potential for thunderstorms. But for right now, we have a layer of dry air that's just sitting over the Big Bend region. But as the weekend comes, we should be experiencing more showers during the weekend. Now, looking at our satellite and radar, you can see not much going on besides a couple of low-level clouds, so nothing we should be really worried about as we go into Friday. Now, if you love boating as much as I do, it'll be a beautiful day. So northwest winds 5 to 10 knots with waves 1 foot, so not too choppy out there. It will be mostly sunny, but the winds will be coming from the southwest by the p.m. Sunrise will be at 6:36 a.m. with the beautiful sunset you can watch at 8:43 p.m. Now, looking at Friday's outlook, 96 degrees, sunshine will be dominant. It will be very, very hot with a light to moderate wind. So if you have plans tomorrow, please stay hydrated. Use that sunscreen. We don't want anyone suffering from heat illnesses. Now, looking at our 5-day forecast, Friday, 96 degrees. Saturday, sitting at a toasty 98 degrees with our lows mostly in the mid-70s. But as we approach Sunday, we will be experiencing an increase in those showers that I mentioned earlier, and the temperatures will start to back off just a little bit. So we're looking at 30% on Sunday, possibly 40% on Monday, and 50% on Tuesday. But we will keep you up to date if the changes come around. Now I'm going to pass it off to Andres with the look around Florida.
Thank you, Lexi. Well, currently around the state right now, we're sitting at 95 degrees here in Tallahassee, nice and toasty over here. And as you go a little bit further on south along the state, well, you see that temperatures are probably, they seem to be around the upper 80s, hovering close to 90 degrees. But for the most part, the whole state is seeing a lot of sunshine, and we're living up to our nickname. So currently the humidity here, 36 in Tallahassee. There's not really a lot of moisture aloft, but there is quite a bit down here the farther south you go towards Miami, 61%, 70% in Key West as we speak. But we're looking at the heat index, and this is the combination of the temperature and the humidity in the air. Well, right now we're sitting at 98 in Tallahassee, 101 in Jacksonville, 102 in Orlando. So if you're out and about in these places, please make sure that you're staying hydrated. Stay in the shade if you can. The shade tends to be a couple degrees cooler than what it is outside. Just try to avoid any direct sunlight. That way you can avoid becoming any kind of heat casualty out there, folks. But we're looking at the dew point right now. As Jake and Lexi mentioned earlier, we do have some moisture that's coming in underneath this high pressure system that's sitting across the Big Bend region right now. And it is feeding a lot of this Gulf moisture into our area. And we're currently sitting on 64 here in Tallahassee, 72 in Orlando, 73 in West Palm Beach. But for the fact that we have that high pressure and a lot of dry air aloft, it's preventing a lot of these storms from developing throughout the state of Florida. And as that continues, these storms will have a really hard time popping up throughout the day. Well, as we can see over here, we got a lot of dry air aloft. This is upper levels, just at the highest parts of the atmosphere, and there's a lot of dry air. So there's nothing really as far as a big column of moisture for any convection to happen. But as we go further on south, we do see a little bit more moisture, especially off the Keys and Key West as well. But satellite radar, as I showed you earlier, or said earlier, we hardly have any clouds around the state of Florida, probably a little bit towards the southern part of the state. We do have a little bit of convection that's going on with some easterly flow that they've been receiving here lately, and it's bringing in some of those sea breezes that's causing some sea breeze thunderstorms. But for right now, come 7 o'clock tonight, there will be some storms possibly in the southern part of the state, around Fort Myers, West Palm Beach. But as we go into tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, most of these storms will have moved out of the way. And as we move on into Friday evening as well, some of this easterly flow continues and will increase the chances for some thunderstorms to pop up during the day. But for tonight, it's going to be 71 here in Tallahassee, 79 in Tampa, 76 in Fort Myers, very mild across the state of Florida. But tomorrow it's going to be another hot one, especially here in Tallahassee and in Jacksonville, as both cities will see temperatures at 96 degrees. But for right now, I am going to pass it off to Jake for the look at tropics and national.
All right, Andres, thanks a lot. We're going to start off with a quick tropical update. We're watching a wave near the Yucatan Peninsula, pretty much a mirror image of what we had with Danielle, which has since dissipated in the last couple of days. We've had 4 storms so far, the fastest start to an Atlantic hurricane season on record here, and we're watching a wave, of course, like I said before, near Belize and the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, as we're going to look at right now. Again, a 20% chance of development here by the National Hurricane Center. Over the next 48 hours, this wave is centered right around here on the northern edge of Belize, the border with Mexico. It's going to be pushing its way across the Yucatan in the next 24 hours or so, getting out into these open waters in the extreme southwestern Gulf of Mexico. So this is really the area where we could be looking for some potential tropical development over the next couple of days. Chances are still pretty low, but they are monitoring it. They may be sending an aircraft in tomorrow. Again, across the rest of the Atlantic, the Caribbean itself seeing some convective activity, but nothing in terms of tropical development. These storms situated over Cuba as well as the island of Hispaniola. Now, stateside, let's check out the current conditions. 92 degrees in Atlanta, 88 in Kansas City. We're going to look at this area, this band from Washington, D.C., over through Kansas here for some big-time severe potential situated along a stationary front. That's really been the cause of that severe outbreak they had in Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio last night. You see the temperature change. Indiana, this area in the southern Great Lakes here, experiencing some warmer temperatures from yesterday. We've had plenty of rainfall move through those areas. And some rain has popped up in central Kansas, some of which has gone severe over the past couple of hours. They have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for those areas. We'll look at that a little bit later on. Again, you see the water vapor, a strong band of moisture stretching all the way over from near Washington, D.C., over through Topeka, just east of the Rocky Mountains here. So this is where all this big thunderstorm activity has been the case. Let me step out of your way right here. This is the area we've really been noting here in Kentucky, stretching out towards Virginia and, of course, towards the nation's capital, where plenty of this storm activity has been developing around here. And again, Kansas over the past couple of hours has also seen some big-time thunderstorm production. Flash flooding is definitely a possibility with this. And plenty of severe watches associated with it as well. You see these 3 severe thunderstorm watch boxes in pink, as well as a tornado watch situated over extreme southern Ohio, mainly encompassing eastern Kentucky, as well as parts of West Virginia here. We're going to zoom in on that right now. Again, plenty of severe thunderstorm warnings effective in West Virginia, stretching into Kentucky as well. If I step out right here, we see in the middle of North Carolina, near Charlotte, a tornado warning is in effect right now. Numerous flash flood warnings as well. So again, another active day along this stationary front in the mid-Atlantic region. The airport delays, Washington, D.C. at a ground stop, New York sitting at about an hour and a half delays as well. So a busy day in the mid-Atlantic in terms of flights. You're going to definitely want to check that if you're going to be flying into or out of those regions in the coming 6 hours or so. The Futurecast radar, again, storms developing as the front gradually pushes its way off towards the south over the next couple of days. For tonight, staying warm in the south, 71 in Tallahassee, but again, north of the front, cooling down significantly, and tomorrow that's going to be continuing. The sunshine returning back to the Great Lakes after, again, an active last couple of days. Zooming things in a little bit to the southeast right here, we see 93 degrees in Orlando, 95 in Tallahassee. Plenty of warmth, plenty of heat around. You see some scattered thunderstorm development in parts of South Florida with those temperatures staying in the middle 80s. Otherwise, again, 90s abound across the area. The dew points have been high as well. You see, the higher the dew points, the more of a likelihood we've had for some thunderstorm development as the day has gone on. 76 degrees being the highest dew point in Key West, but a dry bubble around Tallahassee and just to the north, just like we've been seeing over the past couple of days again, as we've had a layer of dry air above us, keeping storms from really forming at all. Again, the heat indices are high, 102 in Orlando, the highest up to the northwest, up near Little Rock, 104. They've had some heat advisories up in those areas down towards the central and southern plains, stretching in towards Missouri and the parts of Tennessee as well, where those heat indices have approached 110 at times in some areas. Again, a very dry picture across the Sun Belt region, Atlanta, Montgomery, Tupelo. These areas where we've seen these really high heat indices, the upper levels, layers of dry air preventing any kind of thunderstorm activity, scattered cloud cover at best around here. So that's why these temperatures have been allowed to skyrocket as the past 6 hours have gone on or so. The water vapor has mostly been limited to southern Texas as well as the typical areas in South Florida where we have that easterly sea breeze kind of thunderstorm activity in the afternoons. Again, the satellite pretty quiet as well. There was a tornado warning up near Charlotte, as we've pointed out before. Otherwise, the southeast staying dry out there. Scattered cloud cover, mostly at the lower levels, again, with some pop-up showers occurring in southern Florida, south of Lake Okeechobee. That's going to be continuing, setting this futurecast into motion. We're going to watch an area up in the northern Sun Belt, Atlanta, as the Friday carries on here, as that stationary front gradually shifts its way southward. Some scattered thunderstorm activity will be developing ahead of this front, especially on Friday night, some of which could be strong, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. And a band stretching over from Tupelo down through Wilmington, gradually shifting its way off towards the east as the next couple of days go on as well. For tonight, another warm one across the area, 72 in Savannah, 73 Atlanta, 81 degrees down in Key West. And for tomorrow, staying hot, staying sunny, 97 degrees in Savannah, 96 in Tallahassee. 90s hanging around even over in New Orleans, sitting at 92 degrees under plenty of sunshine. We're going to wrap this show up right now. Give it to Andres for one more look at the local weather.
Thank you, Jake. Well, zooming back in locally over here, currently right now we're sitting at 95 degrees here in Tallahassee. Partly cloudy skies and dew point is at 64 degrees with the humidity at 36%. Winds out of the south at 7 miles per hour. It's still pretty hot out there, folks, so make sure if you go outside, stay in the shade, or stay indoors actually, just play some card games, play some video games if you're into video games. But for today, we saw a high 96 in Tallahassee, 91 in Quincy, 90 in Valdosta. Pretty much we were the hot spot of the Big Bend region for today, as the whole Big Bend region saw temperatures in the mid to lower 90s. Currently right now, we've dropped 1 degree. We're down to 95, 89 in Monticello, 90 in St. Mark's, 87 in Caribou as we speak. Locally, the radar shows nothing but clear skies. A little bit of rain has developed, a little shower, but that's as much as we're going to get for the next couple of days. Not really any strong convection is going to happen within the next couple of days. As we put this into motion over here, we can see that high pressure will be dominating, also along with that belt of dry air we've been talking about that's sitting aloft, that's preventing a lot of these storms from developing. But as we go into Friday, we see on a little further on south here in Florida towards Tampa and south of Orlando, there are going to be some storms that are going to be kicking up a little bit. As I mentioned, that easterly flow that they're having will, even though the high is in place, will allow for some of these storms to develop come Saturday morning into Saturday day. This same thing continues. But for tomorrow, well, it's going to be a very warm start to the morning, about 75 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning. No clouds in the skies, but with the few little moisture that we do have, we should see some clouds developing. Come 12 o'clock, it should be about 88 degrees. And at 5 o'clock tomorrow, it's going to be really hot. Cooling down though, but it's still going to be 93 degrees. And if you're a sun worshiper, well, tomorrow's going to be a great day to go outside and enjoy that beach, enjoy that water. The winds are going to be out of the northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Surf will be about 1 foot, so waves are going to be awesome. They're going to be nice and calm for you out there. But make sure that you do put on some sunscreen because the UV index is sitting at 8. Protect that skin, please. But for tonight, it's going to be 72 here in Tallahassee, mostly clear. It's going to be an awesome, beautiful night. The winds are going to be in the south-southwest at 5 miles per hour. And tomorrow, it's going to be 96, very hot, folks. So please keep that into consideration as you go, if you go outside for tomorrow. But we're going to have a great weekend. Come Sunday, our chances are going to go up a little bit to 30%. And as this high pressure kind of gives way, we are going to see a return back of the sea breeze thunderstorms that are common this time of year. That's why we have 40% on Monday, 50 on Tuesday, and 60 on Wednesday. As the temperatures will start dipping down lower as these storms kick up and become dominant throughout the days. But, well, if you like what you see and you want to see more of us, you can like us on facebook.com/FSU Weather. You can also follow us on Twitter. We have a Twitter account at twitter.com/FSU Weather. And if you like to see us every day and you just enjoy our time over here, you can watch us anytime at livestream.com/FSU Weather. And we also have an Instagram account. Please take some pictures around town or on campus, send us to us, and we will show them on the show. Please have a good night and stay safe.